The Once and Always special has already been released, with which they commemorate 30 years of Power Rangers, but also shows us the first joint effort by Hasbro and Netflix to create a story that does not take Super Sentai as a base. Now, it's time to analyze the special, as well as its virtues and defects. Before we begin, I must warn you that this video will contain spoilers for the special. At the beginning we have a very Star Wars style recap where they tell us how Rita escaped from her prison and how Zordon recruited 5 young people to stop her, these being the first in a long line of defenders who would become known as the Power Rangers. The story begins in 2022 where we see Billy, who is at the mercy of Robo Rita. He tries to face her, but is quickly outmatched by the witch and her patrolman. Luckily, the other original Rangers arrive just in time to help him. While Billy confronts Rita, the rest confront the patrolman. The Blue Ranger manages to hit the android hard, which deforms his face. She gets upset and proceeds to attack Billy with all her power. This Rita seems to be much stronger than the original and is about to attack Billy with a spell that would kill him. Trini notices this, and dives to save her friend, taking the attack squarely. The shot threw her into the sea, which stunned the Rangers. Here you can see that they cut the scene, as the Rangers look at the cliff, implying that Rita threw her from there, but this is never shown. The witch proceeds to retreat, leaving the Rangers to mourn their loss. A short time later, Billy and Zach go to Trini's house, to tell her daughter the truth. They both don't know how to do it, and while they are arguing, Min, Trini's daughter, hears the truth about that they were Power Rangers and how her mother died at the hands of the Space Witch. After this, a year passes and we see that Zach has left his congressional career to become Min's legal guardian, which in turn refutes the rumors that he was the girl's father. Here we can see Min, who has been training martial arts in order to get revenge on Rita. For his part, Zach has built a small altar in honor of his friend, and has even placed his old Morphin there. They both rush as they had agreed to meet at the cemetery to honor Trini. Upon arrival, they both discover that Jason and the rest have morphed, as Rita has gone to that place to defeat them. She used magic and technology to bring back the Minotaur and Snizzard, who are classic monsters from the show. In addition to that, the android has brought with him a huge machine that he will use to carry out his plan. Zach asks Min to wait while he goes to help his team. At first, the girl refuses, because she wants to avenge her mother's death, but the Black Ranger manages to convince her to hide. Immediately, the Rangers face the monsters, while Rita prepares her machine and once ready, she asks Snizzard to start with the plan. He used his poison to paralyze Jason and then, with the help of the snakes that come out of his body, he manages to easily capture the original Red Ranger, turning him into a doll. Tommy rushes to help him, but he too is easily captured, followed by Kimberly, who tried to help her friends. And just like that, 3 of the most iconic Rangers of all went down like they were nothing. Robo Rita took the toys and placed them in her machine to use the Ranger energy from these to power the device. Seeing that they were being outmatched, Billy and Zach deactivate their powers and escape in the Radbug 2, an upgraded version of the flying car that the Blue Ranger built in the early seasons. The Rangers return to Min's house to keep him safe. The girl is upset because she wants to help avenge her mother. Zach and Billy try to convince her to let them take over. She gets upset and blames Billy for everything that happened, because if it wasn't for him, Trini would still be alive. Meanwhile, we see that Rita has recreated Bandona's palace on the moon and she checks her machine to see if it already has enough power, which it doesn't. This is enraged and decides to capture more Rangers to speed up the process. Rita sent her patrolmen all over the world to wreak havoc. With the Minotaur upgrades, he is able to track Rangers once they morph. It is also explained here that, once the machine is charged, the Rangers' life energy will be drained, which will kill them. Billy and Zach went to the new command center that the Blue Ranger built with help from his technology company. Here, we see that Alpha 9 has been trying to locate his friends, but he is unable to track them in his toy form. The Blue Ranger is depressed by Min's words and Zach tries to make him see that it wasn't his fault, but Billy knows that it is. Here we see a flashback to a year ago where the Ranger and Alpha 8 were investigating Zone Z to try to bring Zordon back. They detected a powerful presence, and when trying to make it cross, they brought back the evil of Rita Repulsa, which took control of Alpha's body. Rita explains that when Zordon sacrificed himself, the molecules of all the villains were also scattered throughout the universe, purging the evil from their bodies, but thanks to him, the evil that once inhabited Rita's body had once again been reunited in a new container, giving way to the scene we saw at the beginning of the special. Soon, the Rangers notice that patrolmen are attacking all over the world. Luckily, Billy had already prepared a contingency plan. Thus, Alpha sends a call to all the Rangers on the planet to go to their respective bases. With this, Cat and Rocky are transported to the command center. Here, the Pink Ranger makes mention of JJ, her son who Tommy also mentioned in the 25th anniversary special, and who we also see in the Soul of the Dragon graphic novel. By the way, this special takes place before that story. Meanwhile, Min starts watching the news and finds out that Rita's attack has started, so she decides to take her mother's morpher to stop her. For their part, the Rangers plan a strategy. Alpha and Billy had made backup copies of the power coins for cases like this, so now, Rocky and Cat will be able to use the dino powers. They proceed to morph and go to face a group of patrol cars that were attacking civilians. In a short time, Minotaur and Snizzard detect that they have morphed, so they rush to face them. Luckily, they manage to emerge victorious from this fight and escape after bringing the civilians to safety. Alpha, who was monitoring the situation, notices that the monsters are able to track the Ranger powers, so he sends a warning to all the Rangers in the world to avoid using their powers. When they return to the command center, Alpha informs them that she has detected a lot of energy on the moon, so they deduce that Rita is there with her friends. They receive a call from Adam and Aisha, who are in the Sirius system, but it will take them 6 hours to reach the Milky Way. Something interesting to mention is that they wear uniforms similar to those of the SPD, but with SPA acronyms. Unfortunately, we are never told what these mean. While planning their strategy, Zack discovers that Min has gone to Ernie's bar to fight with the patrolman. She tried to use her mother's morpher, but nothing happens, so she is quickly overtaken by the patrolman. Rocky and Zack arrive to help, and we see the Black Ranger use his signature hip-hop Keto to take down the patrolman. After defeating them, the Rangers take her to the command center, where Billy and Cat are already working on a strategy. Zack asks Min to give him his mother's morpher. Billy is upset, as he believes that telling him the truth has only caused trouble, but Billy insists that this is the right thing to do. The girl argues that there is nothing wrong with her wanting to be a ranger, since they all were when they were young. Zack explains that being a ranger isn't about defeating monsters, it's about doing the right thing without expecting anything in return, but she still doesn't get it. His tutor began to tell him about Zordon and how he was a father to all of them. Billy tried to bring him back because they missed him, but it didn't work out in the end. Hearing this, the girl notes that she had been very hard on Billy, and in the end she feels a little better. The other Rangers searched for a giant magnet to capture the monsters. Once they were ready, they morphed to attract the villains. On the other hand, we see that Rita has already captured the Phantom Ranger, the Lunar Wolf Ranger, the Yellow Space Ranger, 3 of the Beast Morpher Rangers, 3 of the Galaxy Rangers, the Dino Thunder White Ranger and the Dino Thunder Red Ranger. Spotting Billy and the rest, the monsters decide to go after them, falling directly into the hero's trap and getting caught in the magnet. Returning to the command center, Min questions why they didn't destroy the monsters, but Billy explains that destroying them is not always the solution, something he would later regret. He had created some devices that would make them invisible, and once Rita goes looking for her servants, they will be able to infiltrate the moon to save their friends. They teleported to the lunar base, but did not tell that Min would steal one of the invisibility devices to escape the base. She decides to go destroy the monsters and along the way helped a couple who were in trouble, hoping that it would make her worthy of being a ranger. Arriving at the warehouse, she is surprised by Rita. The girl again tries to morph, but this still doesn't work, so she decides to face Rita one-on-one, but is easily defeated. Meanwhile, the Rangers manage to find their friends, but upon analyzing the device, Billy notes that they won't be able to free them until they defeat Snizzard, proving that Min was right all along. Before being able to return to Earth, Rita confronts the Rangers and shows them that she had captured Trini's daughter. She explains to them that she plans to use the machine to travel to the past and reunite with her younger self. Together they will destroy the Rangers before Zordon gives them his powers, and they will be able to rule the Earth with no one standing in their way. The Rangers try their best to stop her, but she was very strong and knocks them all down. Again, Billy finds himself at Rita's mercy and she proceeds to attack him with the same spell that killed Trini. Seeing him, Min jumps into the middle to save him. The Rangers can't believe the girl did that. Fortunately, the attack hit Trini's morpher, and upon awakening, Min had a series of visions of his mother. Here, we see the Morphin grid begin to run through his body, so he will now be able to use the morpher. Together they morph and prepare to end this. After defeating the patrolman, Rita grows snizzard so that the Rangers cannot destroy it. Billy, taking advantage of Rita's distraction, runs her through with his spear, rendering her temporarily inactive. While Rocky, Kat, and Zack deal with the Minotaur, Billy and Min proceed to call in the Dino Zords to deal with the giant. Something that must be highlighted is that they exactly recreated the scene of the Zords from the original series, even using toys as it was done back then, something that many fans may not like. Rocky and the rest manage to defeat the Minotaur, so they rush to board the Megazord to stop Snizzard. While this is happening, we see that Rita regained consciousness and activated her machine to travel to the past. The Rangers use the Power Sword to destroy the monster, freeing their captured friends, but they are still turned into toys. The Rangers got off the Zord and Min used his daggers to immobilize the witch. Kat destroys the machine, while Zack uses the power axe to destroy the villain, although for a second, it appears that she is teleporting shortly before being destroyed. With all this resolved, the Rangers return to the base where Adam and Aisha are already waiting for them. These will take the Rangers turned into toys to the planet Miranoid to be healed. Kat and Rocky return to their normal lives, while Billy, Min, and Zack went to Ernie's bar to celebrate. Min makes peace with Billy and thanks him for telling him the truth about his mother. Veteran Rangers reckon Trini would be proud of her. Min tells them that when Rita shot him, the Morpher transferred his mother's memories to him, and Billy comments that the possibilities of the Morphin grid are endless. To close, we have a scene from the classic series where we see Kimberly singing and playing the guitar with her friends. Followed by a dedication to Jason David Frank and Thuy Trang, who are sadly no longer with us. Before the final credits we can see a recreation of the intro of the series made with scenes from the special, closing it. For now that has been all for this video. Tell me in the comments what you thought of the special and if you were satisfied with the result. We are the Comic Awakens and see you in the next video.